The term normalization is often used in database theory, and the idea with normalization is to check that there's no duplicated information within a given table. So what Microsoft Access provides is what they call the table analyzer. If I click the Database Tools tab in the ribbon, I can then choose Analyze Table. When I choose Analyze Table, the following wizard appears. The table analyzer, as it indicates here, will look for duplicated information that can cause problems in your database, and it gives you a little example here. Normalization, first of all, it will check for any duplicated information which wastes space. If you ask it to show me an example by clicking this button here, it'll say that every record in the table stores a product supplier's name and address. Suppliers all have more than one product, so no information on each supplier is repeated many times. And I can close this example. Secondly, duplicated information can lead to mistakes, and again it can show me an example. If you ask how many products are supplied by Pavlova Limited, you'll get the answer 3 instead of the correct answer, which is 4. This is because the supplier name for veggie spread is misspelled. So these are just little examples. I'd like you to click Next. Here we have some more information about how it solves the problem. It takes the original table and it will split the table in terms of normalization. And again, you can show an example and get more information with this example also. But having read the examples, I'm just going to click Next and get down to the business of normalizing a particular table. What I'd like to normalize is the student table, so I'm going to choose TBL student and choose Next. What I'd like to choose here is yes, let the wizard decide how best to normalize this particular table, so I'll go Next. What it wants to do is it wants to separate this one table into 2, and I can resize to have a closer look at what it's suggesting. What it's suggesting is that the city has been repeated many times in the student table, and it would like to separate the cities into a separate table which has a single list of cities that can be used for a lookup. I'm going to click on Table 1, and just below this light bulb is a button that allows me to rename a table. And I'm going to rename this table Students. And click OK. Instead of Table 1, I now have the table called Students. I'll click on Table 2, and using the Rename button, I'll rename this table List of Cities. And click OK. I'll then click Next. And what it allows me to do here is hit Next again. And it said, would I like to create a query? At this stage, no, I don't want to create a query, so I'm just choosing No and Finish. What has effectively happened now is I've actually got, I'll just close this, I've actually got 2 tables now. One table is a unique list of cities, and the other table is my students table with the cities mentioned, but they've actually been looked up from the cities table. If I press F11, this opens up my navigation pane. And what I can see here is I now have a list of cities as one table and students as another table. So the table analyzer, this button here, Analyze Table, you can run it across any particular table and see if it needs to be split into a number of smaller tables. I'm now just going to close this particular table here by hitting the Close button and close this particular table here.